Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. My name's Stephanie and today we are back with my best of ILNP video. If you're new to my channel, my best of is a series where I basically talk about my brand favorites, but sometimes I will also share some criticisms whether I have experienced them myself or they're ones that I've seen or heard about in the community. But I'm very excited for today's video because I really love ILNP. I would say they're definitely one of my favorite, if not my favorite, boutique brands. And full disclosure, while I have received the majority of the polishes in previous PR, they have nothing to do with this video. Again, it's just me talking about my favorites. And while it might not look like a lot here, I do still have some others that are kind of off screen. So I have a lot to get through, so let's just get into it. So I want to start this video by talking about some of their shimmer polishes because that's just one of my favorite finishes. And the first shade that I have is Sweet Tooth from their candy coated collection in the spring. Sweet Tooth is basically the pink sister polish to Fairy Dust, which is the purple version that came out, I want to say last year. And that one already is a cult classic, fan favorite. But as a pink lover, I was so excited to see Sweet Tooth because it's just such a cute shade of pink. I love that it's accented by that same fiery copper shimmer that shifts to gold and even green in extreme lighting. And with the dainty holo formula, it is just such a cute polish. Like if for whatever reason, Fairy Dust wasn't your thing, if you don't like purple, this is such a great alternative. I think it's so flattering. And in a similar vein from that same collection, I also had to highlight Peach Ring. This is such a cute freaking orange. Like I love orange polish so much. And it's sadly not a color that we get a lot because at least when it comes to like mainstream nail polish taste, orange isn't really a super popular color, but I do think that changes, you know, the more indie that you get. So I was very excited to see ILNP give us such a cute shade of orange. It's just so peachy and bright. It pretty much is the same formula as Sweet Tooth as well. So it has that shimmer that makes it glow, this dainty holo sparkle. Since I'm such a fan of orange polish, I just want more people to give this one a try, especially if you know you're maybe on the fence about oranges or you just haven't found like the right shade. I think this is such a cute one. And for a 180, the last shimmer that I want to highlight is called Bloodline. This is a beautiful, alluring, plummy purple kind of shade that has this like pinky rose gold shimmer and then again accented with all this scattered holographic. I got this off of a recommendation when I was looking for some deeper fall purpley pink kind of shades, and even though this is very purpley in its base, I feel like the pink shimmer just really brightens it up and it just feels like such a fall pink to me, or like a fall berry sort of color. So basically, since I was not let down by this suggestion, I also have to pass it along and recommend it to other people. I think it's such a beautiful color with a stunning finish. Next up, I have one of their dainty holos from their Rewind collection, which basically consisted of these 6 nostalgic pastel crelly jelly bases with a very dainty holo. The one that I'm featuring here is Claire, which is a super soft, light, almost orchid pink color with a subtle purple undertone. It's very dainty, very elegant, not giving too much in the sparkle or color department, but I think this is such a beautiful, elegant, classy sort of shade. I also think this is a pretty versatile shade too, whether you're looking to wear this in one coat for a subtle, clean look with a little bit of sparkle, or of course, if you want to build it up in 2 or 3 coats to intensify that more baby pink color. It's just so cute no matter how you wear it. I don't usually love such cool light pinks like this, so this one was a surprise favorite for me, but they do also have Dear Diary, which is the warmer toned pink from the same collection, or again, just a few other shades as well if this color is not your cup of tea, but you do like the finish with the dainty holo. I know it might seem boring, but it is a bit of a palette cleanser kind of color, which I think is still essential for people's collections. And speaking of palette cleansers, the next shade that I have is Coconut Cream. This is ILNP's Milky White Jelly that came out earlier in the summer of this year, and it is such a gorgeous formula. It self-levels so beautifully. Definitely another one that I think you can wear in either 1, 2, or 3 coats depending on your preference, but it is just such a classy shade. Again, I know not everybody is into like a sheer milky white, but for those of you who are, this is such a great one. Also, before I forget to mention, this is in their Studio Color line, which if you don't know, ILNP basically has 2 lines of finishes. They have Studio Color and Boutique Effects. Their Boutique Effects are basically any kind of specialty finish, so it has shimmer, holographic, magnetic, multi-chrome, just anything that's not a cream or plain polish. As I mentioned though, this one in particular is a jelly finish, so while it doesn't have any shimmer or holographic, in my personal definition, I would call this a little bit more of a specialty finish just because it's not a typical opaque cream, which is also what they offer in their Studio Color line. So that's always been a little bit of a gripe from their website specifically, the Studio Color just not having a differentiation between creams and jellies, or just having the jellies paired with the creams. Basically, just make sure that you are reading the website descriptions. The other Studio Color polish I want to mention is Soulmate, which is one of their full coverage creams. This one came out earlier this year in the Valentine's Day collection, which was their very first release for 2025. I feel like almost forgotten about at this point, but this is such a beautiful, clean, elegant shade with an impeccable formula. That's the main reason I am recommending this one, because again, I know the color might not be very exciting to a lot of people, but for such a light pastel, you know, they usually have a tendency to be very thin and streaky or incredibly thick and chalky, but this formula is just like that perfect Goldilocks right in the middle, where it's so smooth to apply, so incredibly even coverage, just a solid 2-coater even at my longer nail length, which I just personally think is very impressive. And again, I really like this color. I know I've been sharing a lot of very light, kind of sheer, almost neutral shades, but this next one is a hot pink jelly and it's called Misbehaving. I actually don't know or remember when this one came out, but it was from a summer collection several years ago at this point. It's admittedly pretty similar to Gummy Bear, which is another hot pink, holo, flaky jelly polish that came out earlier this year, but that one's more of a blue-toned hot pink. This one is a bit warmer, so just for color preference, I prefer this one. But I would say it has a little bit more saturation or vibrancy as well, so it's just such a bright, hot pink shade. I know some people might feel that same way about Gummy Bear, so again, it could go either way, but if you like a warmer hot pink, you're gonna love Misbehaving. I do have a few more polishes in this finish because it's my favorite from ILNP. The next one that I have is Bear Hug, and this was from the Home for the Holidays collection a couple of winters ago. It is an incredibly dark, rich, chocolate brown jelly base, again, filled with this super gorgeous, dainty, holo sparkle. If you know me, you know that I love brown nail polishes, and I feel like they just don't get enough love. So if you're somebody who's looking for a brown, I feel like Bear Hug is so pretty, especially if you do like really dark, rich colors, which I know isn't for everybody either. In some lighting, I can see how this shade can be so dark that it looks black, but in most lighting, you can still tell that it is just a very dark brown because it is that jelly formula. So you see a little bit of that squishiness, and paired with the holo sparkle, it is just chef's kiss, especially for this time of year. This is truly one of my favorite brown polishes. Speaking of polishes that are so dark, they almost look black, the next recommendation that I have is Annabelle. This I also got off of a recommendation. I think I got this last year during Black Friday, and I was on the fence about it because I usually don't like colors that are so dark they basically look black. I want my dark purples to look dark purple, but I was convinced to get Annabelle, and I do not regret it at all. It is so stunning. Definitely still very dark. So again, be wary of that if you don't like really, really dark polishes. But I think you can still tell that like beautiful, lush purple color. It's just so deep and like intoxicating in a way. I don't know what it is about this shade, but it just has me mesmerized and I just have to recommend it. And the last polish that I have to recommend in this finish might come as a surprise to some people, especially if you know me and my taste, but I have Countryside. This one came out in last year's Vineyard collection, which again, love that whole collection and would recommend it highly if you aren't familiar with it. But this year I wanted to highlight Countryside, which is this super dark, murky, swampy olive green. Definitely one that I would consider like a prugly shade, which, you know, I normally do not like prugly colors, but leave it to ILNP to make this swampy green that I think is just so beautiful. Probably because it's filled with that gorgeous holo sparkle that I'm such a fan of. But I don't know, when it's built up in 3 coats and it just has this rich, dark, mossy kind of green, it's just so perfect for fall. So basically, if you are a prugly lover, I feel like you would love this shade. I recommended this to Linry and she picked this up, I think during Black Friday last year, and she also loves it. So, you know, if for whatever reason you don't trust me, she can vouch for me. This is such a great prugly green. Next up, I have 2 of their shades from their After the Rain collection, which launched earlier in the fall, which are basically these iridescent flakies in jelly bases. And if you keep up with my channel, you already know these 2 are my favorites. The first one is Drizzle, which is this really dark, maybe peacock kind of blue in a very pigmented jelly base filled with these gorgeous iridescent flakies. I love the shade of blue so much, and I think the flakies just really pop against it. It's such a beautiful contrast. But if you want something a little bit more neutral, I would recommend Dark Roast, which is the cool toned, deeper brown from the collection. Again, I love brown polishes, and I was so excited to see a cool toned brown from ILNP because I feel like we just don't see the specific kind of color often in polish. Like ILNP alone has a lot of gorgeous browns, but they generally are on the warmer undertone side. So this was just so refreshing to see. And again, because it does have that jelly sort of base, you get a little bit of your warmth from your natural nail coming through. So it's not super cool tone. I think you get more of that coolness if you do build it up in 3 coats where it's a bit more opaque. So yeah, personally, I think this is just a super flattering color. Again, accented with those little flakies that just glow. It is so stunning. Next, I have a couple of linear holographics from ILNP. This first one I picked up during Black Friday last year, and it's called Princeton. It's such a soft, almost minty green that is very light in color, but not super pastel or washed out, if that makes sense. I feel like it does have a certain level of like saturation that just makes it so bright and punchy and fun, but still very much like a spring green. This is one of their oldest polishes as well, and I think it's just so cool that it's still around because I believe this was from their spring 2014 collection. I've really been loving this shade of minty green, and so I'm gonna have a couple of others like in other recommendation videos, but I would recommend this one if you are looking for a more softer linear holo, if that makes sense, where I'm sure most people do expect their linear holos to be very intense with the rainbow holographic sparkle. And while this does have that rainbow sparkle, it's not super intense. So, you know, it's there, but it's a little subtle, and I think it's just really nice, especially for a spring kind of shade. It also has this like pale gold kind of shimmer in there, so I don't know, it's just a soft, whimsical shade of green. Their other holos are amazing though. They are very rainbowy, very intense, so you really can't go wrong with anyone that you pick up because the formulas are pretty much the same across the board, you know, just different colors. But my recommendation is gonna be Kiss and Tell. Yes, I know this is another pink, but my case for this one is that I feel like a lot of the pink holographics that we see on the market are generally very cool tone, and I love that this is a warm toned pink that isn't warm enough that it reaches into like coral. It's very much a pink. So, you know, maybe you don't have room for this in your collection. If you already have a pink holo and you think that's enough, that's great. But if you are looking for this like shade of pink specifically in this finish, Kiss and Tell is stunning because again, you could probably see it just from the bottle in here. The rainbow is so strong. And the last recommendation that I have is Hypnosis, which is one of the many magnetics they've released this year. This one came out in the Summer Illusions collection, which all featured these like multi-chrome magnetic shimmers. They're super color shifty. They all pretty much have the same formula. So again, you can just go with whatever colors are your favorite. This particular color combination just speaks to me. It's so mesmerizing, but I have seen some people not like this one because it looks a little muddy on the nails. I'm not sure if that's an issue with like people's undertones or skin tones like clashing with the shades. That's definitely a possibility. So as always, just double check online, look up some additional swatches. There's even an app called Lacquergram, which I don't personally use, but I've heard so many people recommend it because there are a lot of people who will upload their own photos for particular polishes. So there's a better chance of finding someone who has the same skin tone as you, wearing something, you know, not for every polish probably, but that might be useful, especially for any kind of problem shades. So yeah, that pretty much wraps up the best of ILNP. I really hope that you enjoyed my recommendations. Again, if you follow my channel, you already knew these were coming. Thankfully, ILNP has a great reputation with their polishes, their formulas. You don't really have to deal with any kind of batch issues or inconsistencies. But if there is a problem, of course, for whatever reason, you know, they have great customer service to take care of it. But yeah, they rarely don't have the same issues that Mooncat does, for example. So I feel like you just really can't go wrong with whatever you pick. My main complaint against ILNP is that the standard brushes that come in their polishes are that flat edge. They only have the rounded paddle brushes in their studio color line or in their top and base coats, which are amazing. But the good news is that they do offer replacement brush packs, which is pretty much what I'm going to be focusing on this Black Friday. There are a couple of shades that I have on my wish list, but with how much I complain about not having room in my collection, I really shouldn't be buying more polish, but I will be focusing on trying to get as many replacement brushes that I have for all of my ILNP shades because they make such a difference for application. So I really hope that you found this video helpful. Leave me a like if you did, or leave me any and all thoughts you have down below so we can chat about it. But thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.